Hey guys, what's going on? So I thought I'd explain how I do pull requests, since I think it's a very crucial topic when you're at work or when you're contributing to open source. Anytime you're going to work with someone else on a certain repository, piece of code, you're going to have to do a pull request. How to do a proper one, a clear one, for whoever is going to review the code, or your future self is going to look at the previous commits in the log. It helps to have them clearly identified as what you did, what each commit does, etc. So I'm at the page of creating a pull request right now. I'm trying to merge this branch called add login to develop. This assumes that I branched out of develop, I worked on something, and now I'm PRing, meaning pull request, meaning I'm requesting the other developer to pull my code in and check it out, look at it, try to run it on their machine, and then leave a review of what they thought should be fixed, or whether they think it's okay to immediately merge it into develop so that it can end up on master and be a release. The whole cycle of development. So at this page you'll notice that the branch says add login. It should be at least indicating what you're trying to do in this branch. The branch usually is a feature branch. The feature comes from a ticket on Jira or a Pivotal Tracker or whatever you use to do the project management at your company or in your open source project. That ticket has an identifier. That identifier can be anything, really, but this system is gonna tag each ticket with that identifier and the number for the ticket. You use that number, I use that number. I would advise that you do this strategy actually. You use that number and identifier, you prepend the commits that you're gonna add in this pull request. So the title of each commit becomes identifier, ticket number, and then you describe what this commit does. If a person were to pull your code and include this, what would happen? It would add login activity. It would add login button to main activity. It would update libraries. So that's the kind of tone that you use, or a tense that you use. It's a commit that's sitting out there in the repository, and if I add this, this would add login. It's a future thing that's gonna happen. This would add login activity. So that's on the naming side. So you have 3 commits here. This is what's included in this PR. This is what's gonna be included in this PR. Try not to do anything outside of the scope of the ticket, of which the identifier exists here. So you can do something outside if you're forced, if it has to do remotely with the task, if you have to update some library in order for this other functionality to work, if you have to bump up the version of the application before you release, and you have to also include a hotfix or something like that, it's perfectly fine to do this, but at least tag the commit with something that differentiates it from the other commits that belong to actual tickets. So if I look here and I see there's 3 tickets, okay, I immediately get what's going on. This refers to ticket 24. This refers to ticket 24. This is something you did independently. Alright. You updated the libraries. Okay. What about this one? Add login button to Android manifest. I mean main activity. You added it. There's the button. Completely related to what you said. Does not try to do things that are not related to what you said in the commit level, and does not try to do anything unrelated to what you said on the PR level. So if I go ahead and create the pull request, I'm dropped at this UI. So you name it as well as the tickets, so that it could also be clear here. When this appears in the list of pull requests that the other developer has to review, he'll also know, they will also know that this refers to that ticket. Add login button. It's fine for it to say that same title as in the branch, but be brief, because there's a lot of description coming in the commits everywhere. This is very clear what's going on. You don't need to reiterate here and have a, there's room for that in the description here. As far as the pull request comments go, or description, I would say, here you are free to write things that relate to how you implemented the thing, not what is included in each commit. Here you can say implemented login button in a preliminary way just to get things started, because this is not going to be seen anywhere, not in the Git history, not anywhere. This goes away when the pull request goes away. But at the time of seeing the pull request, this information is valuable. When they are about to review this code, this information is valuable. What remains valuable is the title of each commit. This is what gets stuck in the Git history. So as you're looking, you know that this commit did this thing, that commit did that thing. So the more granular you are in the commit messages and what you include in each commit, the more flexible the code becomes when you want to go back to a certain thing. If I added all of this in one commit and I want to go back and just, before you added the login activity, before you added the button, I cannot. I have to also roll back the update of the libraries, maybe break some other thing, some other place, because this library update is not just something that happens to just what you were working on. This might affect many other pieces of code. So try to at least logically separate the things. I'm not going to say like, if you add an XML button, you add that commit added XML button, and then you add the code for it in the main activity. No, the whole thing is add login button. The XML, the title, the styling, the code that hooks up the click listener, all of that is adding the button. So here you might also say, be careful, for now it just shows a toast when you click the login button. For the reviewer to see what they're about to see down there. Any gotchas, any things that they might seem strange, that you want to point at. By the way, like this thing, don't confuse it with that thing, it's just temporary, anything like that. And you just create the pull request. Looks like this. Pretty clear. So now the reviewer comes and says, okay, I want to look over here. Review changes, says what they want to say, but at least now they're in this commit. They see all of what relates to this commit, nothing else. That's it. Then they go next. They see the other commit. That stuff relates to that here. And then they see that you updated the libraries. Alright. If they were another developer, they would be able to approve, but I cannot approve my own PRs. And that's about it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe, leave a like. I hope this was simple. I'll see you in the next one.